Hello everybody, you're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. This is the weekly radio show where we chat about the local arts news, we have a different guest on each week, and we head over to the Rhylight Zone for a short story and or some poetry, as well as to the Ilk Shed to catch up with Twangling Jack Ford for a weekly album review. As always, you can find us on Facebook. If you search for The Art Show on Wickham Sound, you should be able to find us. And we are repeated on Wickham Sound on Monday nights. We're on the Wickham Sound Listen Again, iTunes, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Please do leave us a short review on your podcast platform of choice. It all helps. So this week, we're going to be chatting to artist Three Acorns. But before we do that, we're going to head over to the Rhylight Zone for the latest instalment of Monsters of Rock by myself, Dane Cobain. Chapter 11, The Roadie, 1995. Ramstick Vestibule's first order of business was to shepherd the band towards another meeting, one which had been foretold and which he knew would be important in the future somehow, if only he could see the finer details. The meeting took place at a small festival on the outskirts of Oxford, one of the first of the season, and a gig that he'd only secured because he'd known that the lead singer for one of the headliners would break his neck in a freak horse riding accident. Ramstick had tracked down the organiser, a pudgy centaur with a thick Brummie accent, in a little country pub where he was standing out in the paddock with a pint of IPA. It didn't take the wizard long to convince the hybrid horse to give the band a spot, and it didn't even take any magic. The centaur was desperate. The Monsters played the third set of the day, debuting some new material to an unappreciative audience of hipsters and young families with babies and pushchairs. It wasn't their strongest set, but it was good enough to do the job, and they sold a couple dozen CDs outside the bar after their set was over. "We're wasting our time here," Groen complained as they regrouped in the green room. It was actually just a broken down caravan in the car park, but it was better than nothing. Guz had to sit outside and listen in through the window. "This isn't our scene. We're not going to make any progress if we keep playing shows like these." "It's not about the show," Ramstick reminded him. There was something about the old man's slow, ponderous voice that soothed them all. Well, all of them except for Groen, but even though the dwarf insisted that it was his band, it wasn't. Without him realising it, they'd become a democracy. "It's always about the show," Groen muttered, but no one was listening. "So why are we here?" Yaver asked. "We're here to meet someone," Ramstick said. Groen's eyes lit up as a dwarf walked towards them with a big smile on her face. Her blonde hair was tied up in braids and she wore a hand axe at her waist. She waved at him, and Groen waved back at her. Then her mouth curled up in confusion and a hand flew to the weapon at her belt. Groen frowned and looked behind him, then realised she'd been waving at someone else, of a human who was carrying two massive steins of the finest dwarven mead. The dwarf girl hurried past and Groen scowled and kicked at the floor. "Ah," Ramstick said, "there he is." To Groen's disappointment, the magician was gesturing towards a scruffy-looking hippie with long grey hair and a long grey beard. He looked like a weed dealer in fancy dress as Gandalf. He also happened to be a centaur. Groen put the centaur's weight at around 550 pounds and thought that its muscles alone weighed more than he did. The human half was built like a He had a long thin scar on the right side of his face from where he had taken a blow in some woodland battle. He looked cool, but he also looked like a bad person to bump into in a dark alley. He was also naked. "Well," Yaver said, breaking the silence, "that's an enormous—" "I'm sorry," the centaur said, "but who are you?" "I'm Groen Gonadson," the dwarf replied, "and this is my band, the Real Monsters." "The Real Monsters, huh?" The centaur paused for a moment and stared at them. "I caught your set. You guys have got talent." "I know," Groen said, but no one was listening. "Don't you get cold?" Yaver asked. "Cold?" The centaur raised his eyebrows. "I'm a creature of nature, a child of the forests, hence the nudity." "Yeah," Yaver said, "I can't help but notice your massive horse," the centaur suggested. "If you've got it, flaunt it. Try not to stare at it, though. It might wink at you." "It does that?" Steve asked. "Of course. Doesn't yours?" "Mine doesn't work," Steve said. "I'm a zombie." "It's something to do with the way that blood pumps or doesn't through the veins. Trust me, you don't want to know the details." "That's a pity." "So the nudity isn't a drug thing?" "Of course not," the centaur scoffed. "Magic is my drug of choice." "Magic?" "Too right," the centaur said. "Drugs get in the way of the music, man. Although I wouldn't say no to a good cup of tea." "Fresh out, sorry," Steve said, grinning his zombie leer and lurching towards the centaur, who took a step backwards. "But if you want some smack, I'm your man." "Don't joke about that," Yaver said. Who says I'm joking?
That was the latest instalment of Monsters of Rock by myself, Dane Cobain. You're listening to The Archer on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound, and this is Twangling Jack Ford with Something Wicked This Way Comes, the radio edit. I should point out, it is the radio edit.
First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. You're mucking around, and you're gonna find out who you need beside you when the going gets tough. Yes, you're mucking around, and you're gonna find out that to hurt the ones you hate, you'll do more harm to the ones you hate. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. You're mucking around, and you're gonna find out when you see all the facts, and you do all the sums. Yes, you're mucking around, and you're gonna find out that something wicked, something wicked.
That was Promises by Demas, and before that we had Something Wicked This Way Comes by Twangling Jack Ford. You're listening to The Archer on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain, and it's time for us to be joined now by this week's guest, who is artist Three Acorns.
It's what was the last book that you read, and what did you think of it?
Oh God! Do you know? I think it was just a Michael Connolly one of the Bosch series. So the LAPD kind of gumshoe doing his thing and solving crimes and that. No, it's good. I do like them. They're good fun. I wanted an easy read, so it was that. Yeah, it was okay. It was all right.
Awesome. That's my kind of read as well. I haven't read any of that series, but the thing with like crime series is because they tend to have so many books in any given crime series, is once you start one, you're there for years just finishing that one series.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's now had loads of offshoots. His daughter's involved. His half brother's involved, but they're good. They're not like the classic kind of trashy American ones. They're actually they are good. He's a good solid character. I really enjoyed them actually. They're good fun. The series is good on Prime as well.
Cool, awesome.
Yeah.
So obviously today, the main thing I want to chat to you about is your art and your business. And I thought a good place to start would just be to ask, how long have you been making art, and where did you get your start?
Me and my mum were talking about this the other day. Actually, as a kid, really young kid, maybe 5 or so, all I ever wanted to do was greeting cards. So I was just drawing all the time. And so that's pretty much how it started. I used to spend my pocket money on buying cards, birthday cards and things, and putting them in a scrapbook. And just loved them because they were like mini pieces of art. There was something, quite special about them. I found I just absolutely adored them. So then I went on to school and carried on drawing at school, and then wanted to make a career of it when I went to grammar school, and just always loved it and always drawn. That's the right word. So yeah, just from a very young age.
Awesome. That's actually unlocked like a core memory that I'd completely forgotten about, because I used to do the same when I was maybe 6 or 7. I used to try and make cards and kind of give them to people to give out and stuff, but I was never a particularly good artist. That words were always my thing, so I'd be good at doing the inscriptions on the inside, but maybe not the drawing of the actual cards. But it's cool.
always good fun, wasn't it? And I remember Christmas was always like a packet of felt tip pens, which was just the best present ever for for a kid that likes drawing. So always loved it.
And it's cool that you're able to kind of take that as well as like a childhood passion and continue it throughout your life as well. Does it feel like you're a big kid now?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I call it colouring in, which a friend of mine gets really cross about. She says, it's not colouring in, you're making art. And I said, well, I'm drawing it and then I'm colouring it in. So it does definitely feel like that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, and I was going to ask, what was behind the decision to specialise in greetings cards, but I suppose you've kind of answered that. So I guess what did you ever consider any other areas but come back to greetings cards, or were you always kind of focused on the cards throughout?
That's a good question. I think I was quite creative in a few areas, and I wasn't really sure when I was growing up. You didn't really get much opportunity, and going to a grammar school, they wanted you to be a lot more, academic than arty. So it was really quite difficult to know, how to get into the greeting card thing. So I kind of did other art stuff, not a job or anything like that. I had various jobs like you do when you're younger. But then I actually got a job at Simon Elvin, the greeting card studio down at Woburn Green. So that's how it then developed into doing something that I really wanted to do. And I thought, I'll never get that job. There's lots of people who've got art degrees and everything. But I actually got the job there because I didn't have an art degree. So my work was a little bit different. I was good at ideas. So that's how I got into it. I kind of fell into it, even though it's something I really wanted to do. So it was great that I was able to then, actually do the cards professionally. And I learned ever such a lot at the studio doing them.
Cool.
It's good.
And what does the process look like in terms of, let's say you're going to create a new card? What does the process look like from first deciding to do that, or first having the inspiration to do that, right through to then actually manufacturing them?
Okay, so back in the day, this was pre using computers. So you'd get your captions. So you'd have different ones. So you'd have like a cute Easter design. So you'd have to come up with some kind of cute fluffy bear or that kind of thing, and you just do lots of ideas, and then work them up as artwork, and then they'd get printed, etc. But now, for me, now I work for myself. It's a lot different. My work's it's not so commercial now. So I will just have an idea. I'd be out walking, see something, because my work's mostly kind of nature and I guess sort of folklore based. So I'll have an idea, see something that triggers something, and then I'll just paint it, and then I'll just go and get them printed. So there's not really an actual greeting card style process anymore. It used to be quite complicated back in the day. You had to use certain colours at certain times of the year. You had to have certain characters. But now, thankfully, it's much, for me, it's free reign, really. So it's changed quite a lot over the decades I've been doing it. So yeah.
Awesome. And I was chatting to do you know Jan Gasker?
Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
Yes.
So I was chatting to him I think it was Sunday. This will make no sense to the people who are actually listening to this on the radio once it goes out. But I chatted to him, and we were talking about how there's something about this area where the area itself almost has its own character, and how inspiring it can be just to go for a walk and look at all the different views. And there are almost different places. You could stand somewhere and you could look, northeast, southwest, and each one of those directions, you could easily make a card out of the views from each of them,
Yeah, you can drive out or walk out in pretty much any direction from High Wycombe, and you're in countryside really, really quickly. And you've got some really good things in the vicinity of High Wycombe as well, even like the Rye and the River Wye and stuff. There's just so much nature around if you look for it. We are very lucky here, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. So I wanted to ask you, you mentioned Christmas earlier and how as a kid it was great because you got your felt tip pens. What's it like as an adult now? Because I would assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think that's got to be quite a busy time of year for greetings cards, right?
Yes. When I was doing it commercially, you'd be working a year and a half in advance for Christmas. So you'd be working in the summer for not that winter, for the following winter. So it was all a bit weird, it was blazing sunshine outside and you're having to draw snowy scenes and snowmen and all that kind of stuff. But now, it's because my work's sold online a lot. But fairs, Christmas fairs are the mainstay for, I think, most artists and crafters. It's the time when you are going to get most work done. And I do love winter, so I'm really lucky. I do love doing the winter designs. The colder colours, the blues and things like that, the icy scenes and all sorts. I just really, really enjoy doing that. So, for me, it's the busiest time of year because of the craft fairs and stuff. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's interesting because I suppose as well, again, A, from working for yourself, but B, in terms of, the designs that you do, they're not necessarily those typical greeting cards ones of Three Wise Men or whatever it might be. So for your actual designs for the cards that you sell at Christmas, are they just kind of coming year round as and when they come and you just decide which ones to print? Or
so I have my core range of cards, and then I try and add, do some more designs every year. I'm gonna carry on chatting, but I've actually got some up here. So my designs are more like how can I get what am I doing? I can't. There you go. There. So they're much more they're much more seasonal as opposed to Christmassy, as it were.
Yeah.
So that's how I work, really. So I might see, for example, a few years ago I saw this stand of snowdrops, and they were so beautiful, and it was so cold they stayed out for quite a long time. And I'd also seen somewhere else a fox peeping out through some trees. So those two components came together with this fox design, with all the snowdrops and all the little snowflakes and everything. And that's pretty much how I work. But my love is more the winter designs and the Christmas cards, I think. Yeah. I love doing those.
And it sounds quite almost sort of serendipitous. So again, with the when you were doing it for a living, it's much more, here's the brief, create
Yeah.
something to this. Whereas I guess now it's much more like you see things and it inspires you and you think,
Oh,
right, I can do
absolutely.
something with
Yeah.
it.
No, absolutely. That's exactly how it works now. Like you say, before it was a brief. It was, we need this, this, and this. We need a design for Father's Day. We want a man in a shed drinking a pint of beer. It was that kind of thing, you know. But now it's much more free reign and just enjoyable. You're taking aspects that you see out when you're out and about, and anything can just, you know, spark an idea. And like you say, we're just so lucky with the countryside around here. You're always going to see something that gives you an idea.
Yeah.
Always.
Cool. So what are some of your best-selling designs?
That hair one I just showed you, the fox in the snowdrops that I just mentioned as well. I think if I can't find it, I won't bother. But that one's a real good seller, the fox one. I'm just trying to think of what some of the other ones are. Yeah, but again, it is. Oh, there it is. Just found it. So this one is a real. I don't know if you can see that. That's a real bestseller. The fox design with the snowdrops, and then I'm branching out more into paintings as well and prints. So this one sells really well as well. So you can see I use a lot of blue. I love the colour blue. So I use a lot of blues, a lot of greens. But that's another good seller. But yeah, the fox, I would say, I think the fox and that hair are probably the best sellers of all my range, I think. They're the ones I have to repeatedly get reprinted. So those two probably.
Oh, awesome. And you mentioned your prints and things like that, and obviously people are gonna, you know, who are looking for cards. You mentioned that you do the craft fairs and things. You have a folksy shop as well. So what's on your folksy shop?
Oh gosh, what's the folksy shop thing? I go under the name of Kelly J Corns, so that's my name, Kelly. And then J as in the bird, Jay, and then Corns, and that's how you can find me. Or I think you might be able to find it just under Three Acorns, which is what I usually work as. So you can find Three Acorns or Kelly J Corns on Instagram or Folksy or Facebook. Are the three that I'm on. I still don't have a website even after all these years. It's ridiculous. So I need to get that sorted as well.
You're listening to The Archer on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain. I'm here in conversation with artist Three Acorns, and this is Thomas Heppell with Be My Home.
Time, it's a funny thing, can heal the deepest wounds, create the most painful things. And since, girl, you came along, you're the greatest gift to fall in my arms. I don't deserve the heart you give. Now the beauty of your soul I'm just so in love with. And I hope you can see beyond my troubled times, 'cause I'm a man who's broken, being fixed one piece at a time. Oh, so with me while my world falls apart. You're the only thing I need when the light has returned. Be there by my side, and please Please, oh, be my home. In my mind, it's a complex thing. Can make the most beautiful world a very tragic place. You know, I wish I could change, chase away my demons, remove the pain. And I don't deserve the heart you give. Now the beauty of your soul I'm just so in love with. And I hope you can see beyond my troubled times, 'cause I'm a man who's broken, being fixed one piece at a time. Oh, so be with me while my world falls apart. You're the only thing I need when the light has returned. Be there by my side, please, oh, be my home. Be with me while my world falls apart. You're the only thing I need. And when the light has returned, be there by my side and be my home. Heppell Productions.
That was Be My Home by Thomas Heppell. You're listening to The Archer on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain. And it's time for us to be rejoined in conversation now by this week's guest, who is artist Three Acorns.
So where does the name Three Acorns come from?
It was a couple of things. The saying, from little acorns, mighty oak trees grow. Because I started off literally with that one hair design that I showed you. And it got printed. It was more like a photocopy card than a print. And it's just grown up into such a, big range of cards now. The fact that I'm doing prints, original artworks I'm selling. I'm being asked to go in exhibitions and stuff. So it has really grown from that little acorn into a big oak tree, as it were. And the other thing was, there was a really old, I absolutely loved it as a kid. It was a Czechoslovakian series called Three Gifts for Cinderella. And it was the story of Cinderella done in this really folky, amazing way, set in Czechoslovakia. And she was given, funny enough, they were hazelnuts, not acorns, but she was given 3 of these nuts, and each one had a little gift inside. I think she got the carriage, the dress, and a talking owl, I think. I can't quite remember. And that was always, for me, I loved that series so much. It encompassed everything that I loved, like the folklore, fairy story, all of that. And so that's why I got 3 acorns from as well, because she got the 3 nuts as a gift. So yeah, it's those two components was why I got called that, why I called my company that.
Cool. And you mentioned exhibitions. What can you tell us about both kind of historical exhibitions you've done and maybe anything that you have coming up?
gosh, I did. What was the last exhibition I did? I did one. God, I can't remember now. So I suppose the most recent one I can think of is that was Bucks Art Weeks last year down. We had one down at Manor Farm in Bradnam, and that was brilliant because Jan Gasker was there as well. He was exhibiting there. So we had a lot of footfall there. It was a brilliant experience. And then I went on and did one over at a gallery called the Obsidian Gallery, and she's over at Swanbourne near Milton Keynes. So she's asked me now to be a featured artist in her next exhibition in February. And then I was contacted by the Art Exhibitionists, I think they're called, and they've asked me if I wanted to take part in their exhibition in May, again at Manor Farm in Bradnam. So I'm going to do that one. And so that seems to be the way I'm branching out now at the moment. More prints, more paintings, because unfortunately people are not buying cards as much because the cost of postage is just phenomenal now. A lot of the greeting card companies are struggling because of the cost of postage. So I have found, and we've all found, that card sales are dropping. So just need to branch out in other areas, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So
cool. Well, I suppose as well that, you mentioned the cost of postage. I suppose there's also the fact that you've got like e-cards these days that you can send. So there are kind of other options that historically weren't there.
Absolutely.
But sort of talking of, I suppose, disruption, what are your thoughts on like generative AI and things like that? Does that worry you at all, or do you just sort of keep on doing your own thing?
It hasn't affected me too much at the moment, but I know a lot of creative friends are worried. I am worried about it. I'm not particularly happy about it in the creative field. I think it's really unfair, because I mean, even if you have an advert pop up on Facebook for whatever, and it's an AI generated little picture of whatever to advertise the product, and it's like that has taken away work from a graphic designer or an illustrator, whatever. So I'm not happy, but it's such a broad, massive thing, isn't it? But specifically in the art world, no, not happy. But other areas, I don't know.
No. Well, and I'm sure, as you can imagine, the different range of people I speak to on here, I have like musicians, writers, photographers, etc. And everybody who does any form of creativity is they're all sort of like, it's a very interesting time to be alive. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, cool. So one of the questions I wondered, are you available for commissions and custom orders and things like that?
I do commissions. I have done a lot of commissions in the past. It's not something I tend to do too much of, purely because quite often, I mean, me and other artist friends have said this. Someone will come to you and say, right, we want a picture of a cat on a blue background. So you do that. And then they'll go, no, I meant green. A green background. So it's a really difficult thing to do because your vision is so different from the person's vision, that's requesting the commission. So even though I do them, it's not something I tend to want to get too involved with. So I prefer having that free reign of doing a painting that I've loved to do and then sell that. I prefer doing it that way round.
Well, and I suppose as well with the way that your kind of your art works, with something that you create, you can continue to make prints of that, you continue to make cards, etc. Whereas with a commission, it's kind of you do it, you get paid, that's it, and it's
absolutely
not, you can't retire on that so much,
No, absolutely, that's right.
Cool. So in terms of your art, have you ever collaborated with other artists? I suppose above and beyond exhibiting with them, and if not, is that something you'd ever consider?
No, not really. I have a couple of girlfriends that I do some work with, but we're both all three of us have different disciplines. So I illustrate. We have a ceramicist and we have a textile designer. So we did a little bit of work as a collaboration there. But art-wise, no, not really. I think my work's too. I don't know. I can't. I don't know how I would collaborate with someone. So no, that's not really something I've thought about. But you mentioning that, I don't see why actually. Yeah, it could be an avenue. But not something I've really thought about. No.
Yeah. Well, and again, going back to those different types of creatives, I think it's one of those things where writing is similar. You know, people co-write books, but it takes a certain kind of person to even be able to do that, I think. Whereas, say, something like a musician, collaboration is sort of, it kind of comes much more naturally. So I suppose it depends upon your discipline.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I see the thing with the, with, like you say, there's no way you can, because I know you're a writer, right, aren't you? Yeah, you couldn't write a book with someone that would be, that wouldn't work really, would it?
Well, people manage it, but I've never understood how, because obviously you'd have, even if you've decided this is what's going to happen in this scene, just your visualizations of it inside your head would be different. So
that's almost like the commission thing as well, isn't it? You still see something differently to how they see it, even though it's the same thing. You're still everyone sees it all just completely differently. So that would be very difficult, I think, to do.
Cool. So in terms of local artists and things, we've mentioned Jan, you've mentioned kind of a few of your friends, but I wondered, who are some of the other local artists and general creatives whose work you really admire?
Oh, I love Lynn Jones. Do you know Lynn Jones?
Yeah.
I think she's brilliant because she can just can do so much. So one minute she's posting some sewing that she's done, the next minute she's doing some ceramic stuff, and it's like, and she's like just a real artist. She's always painting and creating things, and I love her work. Her pictures of Wickham and everything. I do love Jan's work as well, though. I think I absolutely adore it. It's just so I love the way his colours are so like dark and dirty, and it's just his painting I love. My friend Sophie that I mentioned, she's the ceramicist. Her work's beautiful, and she's in high demand. She's been in Wickham forever, and her work's in a lot of galleries. Who else is there? Oh, Michelle Broomfield as well. I don't know if you know her. She as well. She can just put her mind to any kind of style of painting or illustration, whatever. She's just like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and she does it. It's great. So lovely. We've got a lot of arty people in Wickham. Always has been quite an arty town. But there's lots of people I admire in Wickham and their artworks and stuff. Yeah.
Well, and maybe as well, that might even go back to, you mentioned it's always been an arty town. I mean, going back to the sort of the furniture making history of the town. I don't know whether it's something and we mentioned again the landscape. I don't know whether it's just something in that seems to sort of inspire people to create, whether it is art, whether it is music. We've got actors and dancers and all sorts from here as well. It seems to be just a creative hub, really.
Oh yeah, it always has been. I mean, when I was at college, and my mum used to run the student union bar back in the 70s and 80s, and I remember going down there as a kid, and then there was just art everywhere. There was music all the time. It's just always been that kind of place, and it's one of the towns as well. It's really difficult to leave. A lot of people move away, and then they seem to be drawn back again. There's just something about it that's we get a bad rap in the press and everything, but it's a great town. Wickham's, I love it. It's a great place.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Okay, so just to finish on really, so what's next for you, and where can people follow you to find out more?
So the Instagram that I mentioned, I usually post there what I'm doing. So my next one will be the exhibition over at Swanbourne. That's in February. So if you Googled Obsidian Gallery, that will come up with all the dates and the details. And then the other one is the big event down at Manor Farm in Bradnam over the May Bank holiday weekend. And it's lots of artists in all the barns. It's a natural art exhibition. I think they've even got like Morris dancing and music and food and everything. Yeah, I think it's going to be quite a spectacular affair. So that's the one in May. So that should be quite good fun. And obviously that's local to us, whereas Swanbourne is a bit of a schlep. It's about, I don't know, about an hour's drive away.
Yeah.
So yeah, May bank holiday, the first one of the month, should be a good do.
Big thank you to Three Acorns for joining me. You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain, and this is Hounds of Magic with Astute Intuition.
She's got astute intuition guiding her life, been developing it since the age of 5. She's low on the radar and high in the sky, won't allow life to pass her by. Her mother looks back at her boring past, staring through the bottom of an empty glass. There's not many people who know she bared her charms for a penny a time at the back of the class. Oh, what can it mean? It's in every little thing that you see. Turn around, touch the ground, 99, 100. Flip a coin, watch it fall, 99, 100. Make a move, stop figuring. Yes, you may lose everything, 'cause I get the impression when I look at you, you're going right. Now the way those girls play is a beautiful thing. Mother on guitar and her kid can sing. They packed up their jobs to pursue a dream, performing the songs of Led Zeppelin. Oh, what can it mean? It's in every little thing that you see. Turn around, touch the ground, 99, 100. Flip a coin, watch it fall, 99, 100. Make a move, stop figuring. Yes, you may lose everything, 'cause I get the impression when I look at you, you're going right.
my name on, calling 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 me.
That was Get On Your Boots by Jazz Dylan, produced by Henny Envy. And before that, we had Hounds of Magic with Astute Intuition. You're listening to the Archer on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain. And it's time for us to head over to the Oak Shed now to catch up with Twangling Jack Ford for this week's album review.
The Beach Boys, Holland. Holland is probably the last great Beach Boys album. The first was probably Pet Sounds, which was Brian Wilson's masterpiece, with the rest of the band mostly only doing the singing. There then followed a series of albums which all had some good songs, but Brian Wilson was suffering from mental health problems, so the songwriting could be a bit patchy. My copy of the Holland CD comes in a pair with their previous album, Carl and the Passions So Tough. On Carl and the Passions they mostly moved away from the surf rock with big harmonies and went for songs that were more in the style of the times. In places a bit like The Band, and in other places big ballads with strings. However, the high spot of that album is the Brian Wilson song Marcella, which does sound like classic Beach Boys. Carl and the Passions was a short and badly produced album, though it does have its fans. They called the Holland album Holland because that was where it was recorded, and mostly it does not sound that Californian. A part that is from the suite of songs about California. The final part of that suite is one of my favourite Beach Boys songs. They sing about California, or as they annoyingly do in order to rhyme it, California. They mention Steinbeck and Country Joe, and it has their signature harmonies and counter melodies. For the Holland album they had recruited some extra musicians, so they were able to record as a band, and though they had Brian Wilson with them, they all contributed to the songwriting, including the new members. Brian Wilson's main contribution is probably the totally unnecessary Fairy Tale that was originally a bonus 7-inch. The album starts with Sail On Sailor, which is a song that got played a lot on the radio at the time, and it has a much rockier sound. For me, I think the high point is the song The Trader, which is a Carl Wilson song. It starts with a series of upbeat passages, but it then turns into a gorgeous play-out that I find quite emotional. Once again, this album sounds quite of the time. There is a singer-songwriter element, similar to what acts like Elton John were doing at the time. And there is quite a lot of synthesizers involved. After this album they stopped being innovative and reverted to their classic Beach Boys sound, and that was probably where my interest in them stopped. The Beach Boys, Holland.
Big thank you to Twangling Jack Ford for this week's album review. Thank you to Three Acorns for being this week's guest. Thank you to everyone whose music I've shared. As always, you can find us on Facebook. If you search for The Art Show on Wickham Sound, you should be able to find us. And we are repeated on Wickham Sound on Monday nights. We're on the Wickham Sound Listen Again, iTunes, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Please do leave us a short review on your podcast platform of choice. It all helps. You can also find us on Facebook. If you search for The Art Show on Wickham Sound, you should be able to find us. And you can email me here at the studio on dane.cobain@wickhamsound.org.uk. That's dane.cobain @wickhamsound.org.uk. So I'm going to leave you with one last tune, and this is the incredible Zilverbacks with Chaotic Harmony. I'll catch you next week.
Be a thief if you feel like. Be the falcon true outside. Be the time in the infinite. In one and only light. Be the water turn into wine. Be the hero they vilify. Go on, Lord, come on. writer of your own life. Be the author, don't be shy. Of your own life. Be the author, don't be shy. See your soul. I see your soul and smile back at me. I see your soul. I see your soul and smile back at me. I see your soul. I see your soul and smile back at me. I see your soul. I see your soul and smile back at me. I see your soul. I see your soul and smile back at me. I see your soul. I see your soul and smile back at me. I see your soul. I see your soul and smile back at me. I see your soul. I see your soul and smile back at me. I see your soul. I see your soul and smile back at me. I see your soul.